Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to download any animation from Mixamo and then rig the animation onto your own personal character. So first of all, we need to download the animation. So I will just download this walking animation, and I do have a character selected, but that doesn't matter because I don't want the character anyways. So I'm just going to choose without skin, and I'm going to keep the FBX form 30 frames per second, and I'm going to hit download. Once it finishes downloading, we now move on to Blender. First of all, we need to use the Rococo Studio Live plugin for Blender. It's an open source project. You can download this yourself by just going to this releases here and then downloading the zip file. Don't unzip the file. After you download, what you need to do is you need to go to Edit, Preferences, and then in the add-on section, you need to hit Install from Disk and then choose the zip file. Once you do it, if you've done it correctly, you will see the Rococo Studio Live for Blender show up in the add-ons tab. Afterwards, you should be able to hit N to open the side panel and see Rococo here. First time you open this tab, it will prompt you to log in, which you can following the button. And once you're done logging in, you will see this view, and this is free to use. So now the goal is to use the Mixamo animations with any character you want, but I don't have a character in my hand, so I'm just gonna use this default character that I got from Blender. So now I will quickly set an armature for this character, so we can just hit Shift A and then type in armature to get the first piece in. When I'm moving this piece, I can press G to move it, but to just make it snap to grid, I can hit Control, and then I can hit even Shift to move it more finely. So when I go to edit mode, because I just want to move this top end, I am gonna press G to move it. So I'm gonna hit Control to snap to grid, but I'm also gonna hit Shift to have a finer control. So this will be the body, and then after clicking one end, you can hit E for extrude. And then again, use Shift and Control to move another piece. Now, another important part is we want to have the arm, but the arm shouldn't really connect from here. So what we can do is we can hit Shift A to create another bone, and then we will move this around. So again, I will press G to move this to the shoulder, and then move this other part here. But the thing is, this should realistically be a child of the spine. So what we can do is we can select this bone and then hit Control click to the parent bone that we want. For some reason right now the clicks are not registering, but that's okay because we can also select them from the scene view. So I can select this bone first and then Control click the other one. So you want to click the parent bone last, and then you can hit Control P to make it a parent, but you say keep offset. So now they are connected. But as long as you extrude them out from the bone, they will have the parent relationship already. So if I extrude this bone out, this bone will already be the parent of the top arm bone, as you can see. And then I'll just move this up a little bit, and then finally I'm going to extrude the final bone for the hand. Now we want to do the leg. So first I want to move this part a little bit upwards, and then I'm going to again hit Shift A to make a new bone, and I'm going to move the bone accordingly. So I can select the one end, move it with G, select the other hand, move to the knee, and then I'm going to extrude out. Again, we want to set the relationship, so I'm going to select this bone first and then Control click the parent bone, hit Control P, make parent keep offset. So first of all, we want to make the foot, but as you can see, the whole bone is really far ahead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the whole bone, look at it from the side, hit G, and then I'm just going to move them back so it's more in line. Again, I'm using Shift and Control to make it move more gracefully. And then finally I want to make a bone for the foot, so I'm going to select this one in edit mode, hit extrude out, go up to here, and again it's kind of off center, so we want to look from the top. Select the bone, hit G to move it, so we can move it somewhere like there. That looks good. Now what we need to do is we need to name the bones, which is just good practice anyways, but it's also gonna be really helpful. So what you can do is you can just select a bone, hit F2 and name it. So I'm gonna name this one head, name this one body, arm 1, arm 2, hand, leg 1, leg 2, foot. So now what we want to do is we want to select all by clicking A, and then first we want to name them with the left right notation. So you can just go names and you can go auto name left right. So now you can see things have been named with the L tag, but the problem is for example the body got named with the L, but it shouldn't have. That means it wasn't perfectly centered. So first of all we want to move them to perfectly to center, but then also we can just remove the L tags ourselves. But if the parts are perfectly centered, they shouldn't get the notation anyways. And then what you want to do is, again, you want to select the whole bone, right click, and then symmetrize. So now any part that had a L will have a R subpart. At this point, we want to test if our bones are working correctly. So we can go to the pose mode and just choose a bone and then hit R to rotate. And as you can see, as we rotate it, nothing moves because we haven't really connected the model with the bones yet. So you can set the weights up yourself, but I think for now the easiest way to show this will be the automatic weights. So we're gonna select the mesh, and then I'm gonna shift select the armature, so the bones, and then we're gonna do Control P. So we're gonna set the parent, and we're gonna do, I was having problems not being able to parent the armature to the model, and that happens because I dragged it from the asset catalog, and as you can see there's the asset icon and it's not the actual model. So what I had to do was, you need to select the model, hit Control A, and then hit make instances real, which now brings the actual parts, and I don't really care about the eyes, so I'm going to delete them. And then so now if I select the body in the object mode and then I shift click the armature, so you want to select the parent last, then I hit Control P, the options are here. It actually understands that I'm trying to parent a model to armature. So now if I can just hit automatic weights. And so now that I've done that, I can go to pose mode, select one of the bones, and I can hit R to rotate, and as you can see the model's moving with it. It's not perfect, but that is not really the point of this video anyways. I want to show how to work with the animations. You can improve your bones if you want them to move better, but you can try other bones and they're all moving, so that's great. So now first thing we need to do is we need to drag our animation in. So that walking animation I downloaded from Mixamo, which is a FBX file, I'm just gonna hold it from my file explorer and drag it in, and I'm going to import it. So first of all, I want to see if this thing is working. First of all, we can go to timeline and we can see this, and if you hit play, you can see the walking happening, but of course our character is not walking. I'm just going to make this end at 32 so it can loop faster. So now the animation happened in a loop. Nice. So now we're going to open that Rococo tab. We're going to go to retargeting. So our source will be this armature we just brought in. And then our target is going to be our character. Now we're going to hit build bone list. So now here there's a lot of options. And the thing is, it will try to match them to the best of its abilities. But you don't need to have old bones. For example, I don't have a hip. I don't have a spine 1 and 2. I just have a body. It registered the arm, the forearm, the hand. And if yours doesn't, you can literally just click here and choose the bones that you think. For example, the Mixamo models often have lots of bones for the fingers. If you have one bone for the finger, just connect it to the middle one finger and it will work pretty nice. Because all these are already connected, I'm not going to touch these at all. I'm just going to hit retarget animation. I figured out what was going wrong there. The pose was chosen as rest, but as you can see, the characters are not really resting. The other model is actually kind of walking already, but they're in a similar pose. So instead of rest, I chose current and I hit retarget animation. And now the solution is much better. As you can see, both of the characters are walking. The one problem is, as you can see, our character kind of moved upwards a lot. And if you use this model right now, your character will be like flying up while it's walking, and we don't want that. We can fix this. What we need to do is we need to open a new window. If you go to the corner, you'll see this crosshair. And then you can just move them to the side, get a new window here. And then in this window, go to the graph editor. I'm going to close this tab. And again, I have a tab open here. I'm going to close it. When I select our character, you should see this animation. And this animation obviously involves all the body parts. We only care about the spine actually. So we'll find a body. We only care about the Y location. So first of all, we want to unselect all of them. So let's just click out. So that's unselected. And then we double click the Y location selected. And then now we can move it with G. And as you can see, as I'm moving it, my character also moves. So I'm just going to move it back to 0. And now it's fine. Now if I play my animation, my character is walking at the bottom level as well. The nice thing is, at this stage, if we bring our character in, the animations will already be in here. So if I play the animation, as you can see, the walking is already working. But the problem is, you might not see all the animation clips separately. In order to see every animation clip, what you need to do is, you need to go to Unity download, and then in the editor, data, tools, you need to find this file called Blender to FBX. And here you need to find bake anim use all actions, which is set to false by default, and you need to switch this to true. So just to show, I downloaded another throw animation. So I'm going to bring it in here. So if we play this animation, there's this throwing happening. So then again, I can just reset this back, and then we can open Rococo. This time we need to drag armature 2 as our source. The bone list should be the same. I'm going to retarget the animation, close this tab. Again, our character moved up, but now if I play animation, our character is also throwing. So now again, first of all, what we need to do is we need to select the armature, find the body. First of all, unselect everything. We need to double click to select the whole row, then press G to move it down. So now our character will actually have multiple animations. In the dope sheet, we need to go to the action editor. And in here, we should be able to see multiple animations. Our character, we have the walking animation and also the throw animation. So now that we have both of these animations and we save this file, in Unity, we can save all the different, we can see all the different animations. Of course, there's a bunch of redundant ones here that are connected to the other armatures that are not ours. But for the armatures that we care about, they will be for the user, so we can see all the animations at once. Oh, and finally, sometimes after importing all these different files, your Blender file might really expand in size. My blend file was over 200 megabytes. In that case, what I suggest you do is you go to the outliner tab, and in the outliner tab, we can click here and then click unused data. And then here, if there's unused things, you will see all the stuff that you're not really using. So in this case, you can just select them and delete them to save space. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you next time.